The Durmanhoth Clan News Network. I am your host, Hardware, also known as Hardware DC. Depending on if the game I'm playing, someone stole my name. The whole reason behind this channel, this is our first video, and it's going to be mainly for the clan members to get news and information on whatever game we're playing now, whatever game we're gearing up to be playing, or any of the little ones in between. That's not to say that nobody else can get anything out of the channel. There's going to be a lot of information, especially about Star Citizen. Our guild is primarily fixed in that direction, going down the road. So there will be a lot of information from time to time, but there'll also be a lot of fun and a lot of entertainment as well. Some of the things that we plan on doing is going to be Star Citizen news. That's covering the patches. That's covering any in-game content. That's covering the blunders, the problems that Star Citizen has had, as well as the game is beautiful and coming along. Other games in the near future and what we're doing now, things like Grand Theft Auto. A bunch of the guys have jumped back into that. Some of the Star Wars Galaxies emulators. I know a large number of our old membership goes back to the SWG days and beyond. So we'll be covering something that pops up every now and then, and every now and then filming some of the games that we're doing at that time, especially if there's a bunch of people on, because it usually is quite entertaining. We'll be doing member interviews. Long time ago, my producer Wolf and a couple of the other guys had gotten together, and we had decided to do membership interviews back when we had hundreds. Kept some of them. We would like to do that again. So as we pick up guys, as we pick up old guys, as we pick up new guys, we want to have those interviews to not only go back in time down the road, but also so everyone can get to know their membership and who they are, who they specifically are out of game, and where they come from. Uh, there's an old term we used to use called bitch slap. That was one of our TV shows, and we used to have a pretty high female gamer population in the guild, and so we would have girls talking about how they view online gaming and what it is to game with guys in a predominantly, I don't know if I would even say predominantly anymore, but a male, more or less, gaming industry and the ups and downs of it and stuff. And it definitely had some fun information, and it's good to give them a voice to get out there. So that was called Bitch Slap, something that we're planning on doing again, coming down the road. Giveaways. Once we get things going, we get some members, we get some subscribers, stuff like that. Um, Give away some Star Citizenships, give away some Steam games, stuff like that, just to pique interest and get people involved, help out, keep the channel going. So there will be stuff like that, not so much in the near future, but definitely down the road. Hopefully by the summer, I would like to try something like that. And then we'll do AMAs. That's kind of the new term that I've been hearing for most of the streamers that are out there. It's an Ask Me Anything. I do watch tons of videos predominantly about Star Citizen. And you can ask questions about where they're at, where we're going, where Chris Roberts and RSI is at, Cloud Imperium, um, moving forward, and try to have a multi-person discussion and bring in some people, possibly with that as well. Have one or two guests with me, and then have a chat going, answer any questions that we can, whether it's about the guild or about the game or any game. It doesn't necessarily always have to be Star Citizen. Those are some of the aspects that we're looking towards. And again, like I said, this is predominantly going to be for the clan members. This is not a moneymaker. I'm not trying to be a millionaire. I've got a job. My wife has a job, so this is not something I'm even trying to supplement an income on. Donations, of course, are always helpful to keep the graphics and bandwidth and all the other little costs that seem to add up going. But this is mainly free just to get the guys involved and to get the information out there. I will say The information will be cut from a variety of different sources. So, for you out there, if you watch one specific guy, one other specific guy, I watch probably about four, five, six of them, and I'm gonna try to pool all of their knowledge and information into one podcast stream for you guys. That way, you can get as much information here instead of having to listen to 500 videos or different guys out there. Hopefully, that'll work for you. Anyway, right now, what I wanted to do is I wanted to give a little bit of a history video. This was made by one of my guys. I'm guessing about 2013 because that was the last game that was put on here. It's just a little intro. I think it's about 3 minutes. So I will play this for right now and then chat with you again here in a second.
Known from the ancient times. They are the hunters of men's souls. They cannot be killed or defeated. Not these dogs. Not these immortals.
It's quiet now. They came from the shadows and blackness with their claws and fangs and grabbed them. Everyone but me. I can still hear them screaming.
Alright, well, as you can see, the future of DC is definitely not the repopulation. That turned out to be a complete and utter scam, and I guess they have now turned it around with the Hero Engine, and they're redoing it on a more realistic coding scale. But at the time, back then, I didn't know a game didn't really come out. I always thought that they would be released. It was supposed to be the next best thing next to SWG with the crafting and whatnot, and it turned out it was pretty much a scam at the time. So anyway, that's going back 7+ years. A lot has happened since then, and then obviously now, since about 2014, 15, is when we got into Star Citizen. There's obviously a lot of stuff about that, why Star Citizen's taking so long. We'll get into that in some other videos down the road, but that's predominantly the direction the ship is steering. But that's not to say that in the next few years we're not going to play other stuff and obviously have a good time. Going back to the beginning of the video, you'll see the two towers. That was a mud. A lot of people probably don't even know what those were. That was back when you used Telnet, and you would actually use a modem, and it would dial up, and you'd call in to a text-based game, and it would tell you by text, like you were reading a book, where you were at and what it looked like and what direction you can go. And that's pretty much how DC was born. Probably get into something more specific down the lines, but that was back in 93, I want to say. I forgot, I have to check the video out, but that was the beginning of my college career. That's when I learned about online stuff. And after that is when Ultima Online came out. While that's not the first graphics-based game online, I think Meridian or something like that at the time was. I was definitely the coolest, and that's where I learned about PvP graphically and enjoyed PvP player versus player, and enjoyed that. And so DC grew to a couple hundred in Ultima Online, and then after that went to a few different games, and then I got heavily involved in the early ages of Star Wars Galaxies beta. Back when beta wasn't just given out, you didn't buy a tier and get beta alpha access. You didn't pay extra money. No, you pretty much had to find somebody that was willing to sell an account, and you would buy some guy's developing account or some guy's brother, sister, girlfriend's brother, roommate that was selling it. Hope he wasn't scamming you, and be able to play beta stuff back then. And that's what I did with Star Wars Galaxies. Jumped in early on that. Got another account, gave it to one of my other guys. Started DC there, and we got upwards of over 500, which is nothing in today's standards with Eve and stuff like that. But back then it was substantial. Anyway, so that's kind of the early history on the birth of DC, going all the way up to now. This is a very old video, obviously 7 some years old, so it's not the most graphically enhanced. It's not the most fluid necessarily, but it was a nostalgia to watch it, and some of the older guys would appreciate it, so I wanted to play that. But that's pretty much it as far as the intro video. I just wanted to test the system, see how the stuff would turn out, and try the video in the background. Later on, I'm going to do a more game specific, which will come up about this past year and where the development has gone moving forward. So I hope that this will be fun. I hope it will give people some knowledge, and we will see you on the next video. Take it easy.